This is his first time ever on a comedy stage, everybody. Please, big round of applause for David Freeman.
How y'all doing tonight? That's good. Like he said, this is the first time I've ever done stand-up comedy, so if I get that deer in the headlight look, and it's probably because I forgot something. So I'll wake up directly. As you may or may not be able to tell from the way my accent, I am from the South. I was born and raised in a little town called Bryson City in North Carolina in the Great Smoky Mountains. But where I'm from, we lived so far back in the sticks that we knew nothing about things like ADD, like attention deficit disorders. As far as our parents were concerned, we were just kids being kids, and they let us be kids. But looking back on my childhood now, I've come to realize that I was ADD. That's absolute dumbass disorder. I'll give you an example. There was this one time when I was a kid that I got it in my head that I wanted to see what I looked like with my eyes closed. And that's one of the stupidest damn things I've ever heard. But anyway, so what I done was I actually stood in front of a mirror and I closed my eyes. You can imagine the disappointment when I found out that I couldn't see a damn thing. Absolute dumbass disorder. So, another thing is, I was a kid that always went around with a cast on my arm, about 50% of my childhood. And, from everything from climbing trees to, hell, climbing trees. That's all we had to do back in the mountains for fun. Plenty of trees to go around, Knock yourself out, and hell, I did too. I particularly got a kick out of things that my parents used to say when I was a kid. Take my dad, for example. Anytime that my mother's side of the family would come over to visit, and my dad wasn't particularly in the mood for in-laws, which was pretty much most of the time, he would see them coming up the driveway, and you'd hear him blurt out, "Oh, that's just great! Here comes Mr. Dam, Mrs. Dam, and the whole damn family." I mean, let's give Dad a little credit here. Anytime that he was particularly in the mood for in-laws, or for anybody for that matter, he would answer the door the same way every time. He would say, "Well, come on in, grab yourself a seat and sit down by it." Never heard that one before. This left it wide open for us smart-ass kids. "Come on in, grab your seat and sit down by it." Immediately, one of us kids would run to a chair and sit right down on the floor beside it, laughing our smart asses off. And then later on, Dad would whip our asses for making fun of him in front of company. No, I'm just kidding. Dad never did that. But Mama did. She was the ass-whipping one in the family. Set us kids straight. Speaking of Mama, she used to say this one all the time. "Well, shit far." If something wasn't going quite right, she was doing, she'd say, "Well, shit far." But for most of my childhood, I thought there was some, pooping for distance contest going on that I wasn't aware of. But the one thing that I got a kick out in particular was when my mother would have these periodic sneezing tantrums. I tell you what, she could sneeze 7 or 8 times in a row. She was the sneezing champion of the South. She'd just get started sneezing, and she'd sneeze and sneeze, one right after another, until she'd finally just get pissed off at herself, and she'd yell at her, "Why don't you sneeze, you son of a bitch?" Stop the sneezing every time. Well, thanks a lot. That's all I got.
Hey guys, it's the first time ever getting on stage. David Freeman, everybody! Wearing the best hat in Clark Bar. Me and him are the only ones wearing hats, and his is better than mine, so it still counts. David Freeman, everybody.